Today I will explain you what you can do with all of those material nodes in the Unreal Engine Material Editor. So let's start with the base color. Here you can change the overall color of your material. So for example, I can add the texture sample to that, and then everything gets like that. Or I could also add a constant 3 vector with, let's say, a color of red. Then everything looks red. So here you can just add your textures and your diffuse channels. So I will just add this one here to the base color. Then add metallic. You can choose how metallic your material should look like. So here you can add a constant vector, for example. And there you can type in, let's say, a value of 80. Then it gets pretty metallic, as you can see here. Or value of just 0.1. Then we just have just few metallic stuff from here. Then let's come to specular. So this little point here, this little white spot here is the specular, so the reflection of the sun. And here you can add a specular map, or you can also just add a constant vector with either value of 0, so that the specular isn't here anymore, or a value of 1, 2, 3, or anything else. But I will recommend you to change it to 0.5. That's the perfect value. Then let's come to roughness. Here you can choose how rough your material surface should be. For example, when we add a constant 0 to it, then it's pretty shiny and not rough at all. But we can also type in, let's say, 0.9, then it gets much rougher. Now at emissive color, you can choose how shiny your material should be. Here we can also add, for example, a constant 3 vector with a value of, let's say, red. Then it will shine red, as you can see here. And that's something like light that isn't a light in general, so it will just glow a little bit. With that you can create glowing effects and other stuff. Let's come to opacity. As you can see here, it is disabled, so we have to enable it first. Therefore we have to go to the material tab down here. Under blend mode, choose transcoolant. And here you can choose how transcoolant the material should be. So if you can look through it or not. For example, when I add a constant vector with opacity, with a value of 0.1, then we can see through it. When we type in a value of 1, then we can't look through it. Okay, now let's come to the opacity mask. That's nearly the same as opacity, just with one difference, that you have to get a mask for that. So change the blend mode to mask, so that this gets enabled. And now I will connect the leaf texture with the base color. Then I will add a multiply and a constant vector. Now connect the constant with the multiply from B, the alpha channel from your texture with the A, and the multiply with the opacity mask. Now at the constant vector type in a value of 1, and now you can see the black background gets cut off, and that's what the opacity mask is for. Okay, now let's come to the normal map. There you can choose how many details should be on your material. So for example, when we connect this texture here, so the normal map with the normal, we get this detail on it. So with that you just have to create a normal map for the special type of surface you like, and then you can just assign it and get this pretty cool effect here. Now the word position offset down here is here to move around the texture. So I will show it to you with the leaf sample. I will just create the opacity mask now. Okay, now for example add a sign and a panel. Connect the panel with the sign and the sign with the word position offset. And then a panel will type in a value of, let's say, 0.8 and 0.4. And as you can see here now, it moves around the texture. So with that you can create pretty good foliage, wind effects, and of course, for example, rotation of the texture and so on. Okay, now we come to the word position offset. Here we can tell, to the word displacement. This is nearly the same as the word position offset, just with one difference, that it is here for the tessellation, so that you get variety into your tessellation material. To activate that, you just have to go down to the tessellation tab, and there you have to choose either flat or PNG triangles. I will choose flat now. And then those values get displayed, the tessellation multiplier and the word displacement. As I mentioned before, the word displacement is like the word position offset, and the tessellation multiplier there you can choose there you can choose the amount of tessellation. But I won't show those two now because they're pretty bad for the performance, and you won't use them so much in your level. Okay, now we come to the subsurface color. Here we can tell the engine how many light should get through the material. So for example, when we add say a multiply, so just M and left mouse button, and you can see the subsurface color isn't activated at the moment. So we also have to go to the properties, and at blend mode we have to set it, at lightning mode we have to set it to subsurface. And okay. Now connect the multiply with the subsurface color, and then texture with the A from the multiply. And at B you can either choose a color or how strong the light should pass through it. For example, when you choose a color, so constant 3 vector, with let's say a color of red. Then red light will shine through it when the light points onto it. I can't, wait a second, probably I can show it to you. Where is my tree? Here's the tree. Okay, where's the light source? Up here. And now, as you can see here the light passes through, and there we also get the subsurface color. So that is used for subsurface scattering, so for foliage effects like this one here. Of course you have to improve this, it doesn't look good at the moment. Okay, now we come to the ambient occlusion. There you can add your ambient occlusion map, so the shadows that should directly appear on the mesh near surfaces. So there you just have to add your ambient occlusion map. Then down here at refraction you can choose how the light should break through the mesh. So here you can choose the refraction of the water, or for example of the glass. Yeah, so that are all the links. Thank you for watching, I hope it helped you, and until next time.